Hello, and
Yeah.
Eckhartsladder here with another episode of Star Wars Force Arena. Hey guys, this is Eckhartsladder. Hello and welcome to another video. I hope you enjoyed that intro because it's from a long forgotten part of Eckhartsladder history. I'm going to say probably 100% of you do not know this, but I actually started my YouTube career under the Eckhartsladder banner playing and commenting over a Star Wars game known as Force Arena, a game which I'm going to argue is the best Star Wars mobile game that ever existed and a phenomenal game in its own right. So I want to talk about that today and my just continual disappointment that Force Arena never took off and that it never received the support that it deserved. So what is Star Wars Force Arena? Well, unfortunately I don't have very much gameplay left from back in those days. Only one of my videos remains. I privated the rest of them for some reason. But you can find lots of great Star Wars Force Arena content creators from back in the day. My favorite, of course, is my good friend Gluten Slayer. Force Arena was essentially a League of Legends / Clash Royale style MOBA. It was sort of a hybrid of the two games. Now I haven't played League of Legends at all, but I think that comparison holds. Essentially, you would have one major hero character and a deck of cards. The cards would have various functions. For example, your X-Wings and your Y-Wings would do area of effect damage, your walkers would go straight for the enemy towers, and your goal was to take out as many towers as you could, and ultimately whoever had the least remaining at the end of the game would lose, and if you lost your main shield generator, you would also lose. So a pretty easy to understand concept, very similar again to something like Clash Royale. And the thing I just want to point out is just how destined this game would have been for success had it been properly handled. This type of game is still very popular, but it was exceedingly popular, especially on mobile devices, back in 2017 when Netmarble, the company that created the game, launched Star Wars Force Arena. These games were everywhere. Clash Royale was the king at this point, and that's actually how I found out about Star Wars Force Arena, and again, why I'm here on YouTube now today, really. And the thing about Force Arena was that not only was it an interesting type of gameplay, but it was actually extremely well crafted within the genre. I used to go back and forth between it and Clash Royale back in the day, and Force Arena just felt so good. First of all, the art. I mean, for a 2017 mobile game, this game looked phenomenal. All the characters were beautifully rendered. Of course, having official Star Wars licensing helps a lot and the full support of Lucasfilm, but this also came out again in 2017 when Star Wars hype was nearly at an all-time high. The great thing about this game is that it was getting constant support and new releases alongside the Star Wars movies. So with Rogue One, for example, we got lots of new characters, including Cassian Andor, who was a sniper hero and one of my favorites, but it really followed a very similar release pattern to the much worse game Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, which was also active at around the same time. I mean, there's always new Star Wars content. If Star Wars Force Arena were still around today, and spoiler alert, it's not, it very easily could now see Mandalorian characters or High Republic characters or whatever else. So they had full access to the Star Wars brand, and they even did a few things that were really cool. For example, they took some of the old Ralph McQuarrie concept art for Star Wars before it even existed in the form that we know and love today, and they had that in the game. So like concept art Luke and Darth Vader. It was really cool. But yeah, as I was saying, the actual gameplay loop itself was also very, very tight. There was good interaction between all of the different mob characters that you would spawn. You could move them across the battlefield. There were different maps which played slightly differently and even different game modes. And each one of the leaders played significantly different because not only did they have a different main attack, for example, Darth Vader was sort of a tank. He would use a lightsaber at close range, whereas Cassian Andor was a sniper, but they also had different secondary attacks, and they also each had a unique mob that only they could summon. For example, Lando's, I remember, was 9 Nub, so you could only use him as Lando. That was really cool. The game also had a variety variety of different metas, and as I said, it was always constantly evolving because of the continually new characters added to the game. Now, I don't think I was really that good to get into like the most meta of decks, but I mean, I remember being ahead of something like Clash Royale at the time because it had features that Clash didn't. Like, it had healing for not only your units, but also your turrets, which Clash Royale still doesn't have. There was a lot more room for, I guess you'd call it like high skill plays rather than strategic plays, because you could control the character and you could pull off some sort of like League of Legends kills depending on how well you understood the character's movements and how well you managed and used the specials. It was just an amazing game. And you know what else? It was also pretty free-to-play friendly. When the game came out, when I started playing it, I was in since the beta. I was still working as my first year out of law school, and I was living in Toronto in a very expensive apartment, and I didn't even have my credit card hooked up to my phone, and I certainly wasn't buying in-app purchases in Star Wars Force Arena. But although towards the end I did start to feel like Wales would begin to get a pretty big advantage, and the game did certainly decline near its end, I always felt like I could have a lot of fun even as a free-to-play player, and maybe that was one of the problems, because if Force Arena did have all of these amazing mechanics and it existed in a time when this type of game did very well, and it had the Star Wars tie-in, and it had continual new content and meta changes and balance updates, why didn't it do very well? Well, it got no support. Literally no support. I remember not seeing anything about Force Arena outside of the community that I was in. There was no ads for the game. The game just didn't seem to exist. Lucasfilm or Disney or whoever was not pushing it whatsoever, and that is, to be honest, a goddamn shame. I still think of my friend from back in the day, and now also my good friend now, Gluten Slayer, who was the Force Arena content creator, and he was an incredible personality. He was the kind of person who could have easily been the face of the game, because I would watch his Let's Play videos, just him playing a match or two, and I would just burst out laughing because not only was he such a good player, but he had great commentary and he's just a really phenomenal YouTuber. But, you know, Netmarble or whoever was pulling the strings never did anything with the game to get it out there further, and it just seems like such a waste because clearly a lot of love and time and effort went into making the game. It's kind of funny, I started on Force Arena and then I kind of more naturally moved to Star Wars lore as my channel started picking up. I privated most of those Force Arena videos. I don't think anyone from back in those days is still around, but funny enough, in one of the last days of Force Arena, one company working with Netmarble actually reached out to me and asked if I would be interested in doing a paid sponsorship for the game. I said absolutely I would do it. I was going to do a video that would have been completely inappropriate for my channel, just a regular Let's Play. I was going to promote the hell out of it because I wanted nothing more than to see this game do well, and unfortunately it didn't. In 2019, Star Wars Force Arena ended, the servers were all turned off, you were no longer able to purchase the game, and it was just a really sad day. I still remember the Reddit community and the YouTube community all sort of coming together in those last moments, watching that final Gluten Slayer video, and I'm just so bummed because the game could have been so good. It could have easily been the biggest Star Wars mobile game because it had that sort of collectability factor like we see in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, but it also had real gameplay. And it's just a shame that they didn't, if they needed more money, they should have brought in something like Clash Royale has, where you can customize your characters, maybe give you different skins for your towers, or give Lando different outfits that you could purchase. As long as they maintain that pretty free-to-play friendly attitude, I think everyone would have been pretty accepting. And again, there are some rose-colored glasses here. The game certainly wasn't free-to-play towards the end. It's clear that without the support of the wider Star Wars fan base, that the game was really trying to milk the existing players for money, and that's a shame, but there was really something phenomenal there. I know I really missed the game. I know a lot of other people do. I recently saw a petition to bring back Star Wars Force Arena. It didn't really get that much attention. Nonetheless, I'll link it down in the description. Either way, it's fun to remember such a good game. There's a lot of good memories that I have have from back in the day playing Force Arena. I'm curious, did you guys play the game? Did you watch any of the videos on YouTube at the time? Were you a part of the community? You know, most of those videos are still up there. Not mine, but most of them. You know, check out Gluten Slayer and his Force Arena videos, or just Google Force Arena and see some of the 2v2s and read some of the comments. There's a lot of fun to be had there. Sorry, I will say though, I forgot this actually. I meant to mention it much earlier, that there is hope, not for Star Wars Force Arena, I don't think, but for that type of game with a new Star Wars Lego style MOBA perhaps coming. It's been in alpha or beta testing in certain locations for a long time now. I don't know whether it's still getting a global launch. Anyway, as always guys, be safe, have a good one, and may the Force be with you.